All right, I guess we're live. I told myself I know I can edit this, so it's okay. I'm getting my blanket ready. It's a little bit chilly outside. There's a bird hawking at me, but it's fine. Because you know what? I have been procrastinating this for 6+ months. So I guess I keep telling myself, I'm like, you can edit this. It's okay. I don't have to hit go and go. I guess it's just performance anxiety. But anyway, rewind. I think that my story does need its own voice. I think it's good for me to actually tell the truth about what happened without sugarcoating things. Not that one thing happened. My life has been, I hate to say mystical, it's unconventional. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. My life is the amplified version of what a lot of people are afraid to talk about. And there are some stories that inappropriately do not make sense. Um, yeah, so let's take a rewind up here. I'm gonna grab my notebook and pen because it makes me feel better to have something in my hands. You know, life be what it be. All right, well, now that we're all good in here, I told myself too, nothing has to be perfect. So, rewind here. I guess it's time. So, October 8th, 1999, that's the day that I was born. I was born in Bristol Hospital, Bristol, Connecticut. Maybe I shouldn't be putting that out here, but whatever, it's all out there anyway already. I was born to Jody and Glenn, my brother Connor, and my dog Shelby. At the time, the only people that I would let even touch me, I would cry if anyone else touched me, except for my parents and my godparents. When I was born, I was given a little a stuffy, a blue jay, a stuffy blue jay. I always called him Bluey. I don't know where Bluey is to this day. I guess it's something I'll have to go find. So when I was a little baby, obviously, I don't remember much, but my parents raised me in a Roman Catholic household. I was baptized as a young baby, and I was always around family and friends, and it seemed large gatherings and environments of such. And they certainly had traditions and so the year 2000, quite frankly, of course, I don't remember. But one of my youngest memories comes first from being small and either sitting or squatting behind a couch and seeing my mother, looking up at my mother as she had said something to me and turned and walked back into the kitchen. My next memory is of being in the living room. At the time, we had one room that we had our playroom in with the TV, our play couch, whatever, and that led into the garage. And one of my very first memories, again, I was sitting in the living room watching TV with my mother as she was on the phone. And I remember, frantically seeing her reaction as the second tower had hit and hearing her frantic on the phone, almost to say, the second tower had just hit, like, oh my God, like, you know, how I remember this, that's a great question. But many more things won't make sense. And from there, my sister was born February 27th, 2002. I had been doing dance at this time. I had just started doing dance at this time. And I guess that's why I really value being able to tell my story, because down to my root, I've always been someone who's wanted to bring joy to other people and more so entertain people, because life is to be lived through. And anyway, my sister was born February 27th, 2002. And on the day of her birth, we went down to go see her at the hospital. I remember the room must have been split with a curtain. And there goes little Courtney behind the curtain as if it was showtime. And I was going to come out and perform a dance for my mother, who had just given birth to my baby sister. I wanted to perform a dance for them. Did not know there was another family prepared to give birth in the other room behind that curtain. Okay? I felt so bad, but like, that was so funny. That's hysterical. Like, oh my gosh. Character building. I don't remember how I felt about my sister when she was born. I guess I'd have to go rewatch those videos. But the three of us would play together, and um up until yeah, we would play together and that's it. No, we had a lot of fun memories, and one day I'll post, probably if I can get it on video, the films from my childhood, because there's some funny moments. All right, I'm going to tell you about one more. When we were living in Bristol still, I have so many memories I could tell you from this house, but this point in life, but there's a purpose for this episode and the ones to come. Were okay. So anyway, again, Courtney, I can edit this out. All right, last memory I'm going to tell you guys from this era is one day my brother, sister, and I were in the backyard playing, and a family of squirrels had come out to join us in playing and running around. And I guess I must have touched one of the baby squirrels to go pet it. I insist that I did not, that I may have touched one of the squirrels. And at dinner time, I remember this moment so vividly. Come dinner time, my father had asked the question, "Did you guys like playing with the baby squirrels?" Yes. Did you touch it? No. What did it feel like? It was fluffy. It was soft. So yep, yep. Busted. um I did go to a um a like I don't it was a Christian nursery school, and I do remember being raised in and around Jesus and knowing that he was love, but and knowing like almost more of a relationship with him, but not ever really feeling interest in the whole kneeling, standing up, sitting down performance almost, wear your best outfit type. I agree with, staying clean, but buying a new outfit for the special day that you have to go to church, right? Um that's not the environment that I was raised in when I was little. Um I had a best friend, her name was Macy, and eventually I got this. Now this was back when I was 3 or 4. I had got in this little teddy, like a Build-A-Bear, that I named Macy after my bear, and I'd signed the bottom tag of it. Oh my gosh, how cute. Yeah. Um, just because like friendships were so important to me. I could see as a child, and again could tell you so many more stories of me as a child, but that one stood out because to me, like friendships were so important and relationships were really important. And it was important for me to, I think, always do my best and to be so loving and connected to people. And a big part of me with that was lost through the years of listening to the world and being hurt by the world. And the reason I chose to share these stories with you was because that's almost the little kid I want to get back to being. And I'm working on getting back to being there. I'm going through my memories because through my journey in coming to this world, literally just wanting to love and be loved, experiencing and learning about the world, the human world, rejecting it, being rejected by it, and then standing up and saying, whoa, what else am I going to do? Seek and you shall find. Knock at the door and it will be opened. Ask and it will be given to you. When we start this life, I think we have a much better connection with our soul than we are as we walk through it. And it feels like the goal is almost to reconnect with that. I think a lot of us are lost in the system. It's easy to be lost in the system. Why the system wants to override us. But I'm taking it back to my childhood throughout my walk and sharing this with you because there are some unbelievable things that have happened, miracles that I've seen, lessons I've been given. Um, so here we go. Sorry for restarting this the third time, but I guess third time is a charm. Um, yeah. At this point in our story, and where I want to end off is just reminding us, let's just say I turned 6 years old, and my grandmother had just passed away. I never got to say goodbye. I never even knew she was sick. I hadn't seen her for months before she left. When we found out, when my parents found out, and were attentive and by the family side, of course, it was my mother's mother. Blessed be the family. My little sister and I were so young. We stayed with our then great aunt, and that great aunt really took so much care of us. And we were able to go to the funeral at the church. But as soon as we sat down and I realized that I didn't quite understand death, I was bawling my eyes out. I broke down crying. It was such a hard thing for me to process. And I didn't understand what was happening. And that was just losing a grandparent at such a young age was such a just traumatic thing. So, right as, her funeral at the church began, the funeral service at the church began, and I'm hysterically crying. My aunt takes me out of the church with her, and because I wanted to, and we sat in the front of the stairs, and honestly, I remember her talking to me about death and explaining to me about how it's not really the end of life, and it's more so a passing into. And I do thank my aunt because she gave me an understanding of God and Jesus, and throughout that time it being so scary and confusing, she really taught me a lot. So God bless her. Yeah. So we're gonna end off on that. We'll pick up, I guess, right after that funeral. That's where things really start. All right. Until the next episode. I love you guys and thank you for listening. God bless you.